नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां तस्मै श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ఓం నమ శివాయ గురవే సచ్చిదానందమూర్తయే. ఈ గురువు ఎటువంటి వాడు అంటే సత్తు చిత్తు ఆనందమూర్తి. అంతేగాని పాములు మెడలో వేసుకున్నవాడు, విభూతి పెండిగట్లు పెట్టుకున్నవాడు, చంద్రుడిని పై ఇలా శరమ పెట్టుకున్నవాడు కాదు. శివాయ, శివ అంటే మంగళకరం, జ్ఞానం. నమ శివాయ, జ్ఞానానికి నమస్కరిస్తున్నాను. నమ శివాయ. ఎటువంటి జ్ఞానం? నిష్ప్రపంచాయ శాంతాయ, దీంట్లో ప్రపంచం యొక్క కలుషితం ఏమీ లేనటువంటిది. నిష్ప్రపంచాయ, ప్రపంచంని అంటే బొమ్మలు లేని తెర. నిష్ప్రపంచాయ శాంతాయ, ఆటోమేటిక్గా నిరాకారంగా అలా శాంతంగా ఉంటుంది కదా. బొమ్మలు లేకపోతే ఉంది, అక్కడ ఏం చూస్తాను. నిరాలంబాయ, దానికి ఆలంబనం ఏమి అక్కర్లేదు. ఎందుకంటే ప్రతిదానికి ప్రతి వస్తువుకి ఏదో ఒక ఆలంబనం కావాలి, కానీ దానికి ఆలంబనం అక్కర్లేదు. అన్నింటికి ఆధారం అది ఆధారం. కాబట్టి సర్వాధార నిరాధార అని లలితా సహస్రనామ స్తోత్రాలు వస్తుంది. అటువంటి పరమాత్మకు నేను నమస్కరిస్తున్నాను. టుడే వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు ది యోగా క్లాస్. యోగా మీన్స్ రూఢి అర్థం ప్రాణాయామ. జనరల్గా యోగం అనగానే మనం ప్రాణాయామం అని అర్థం తీసుకుంటాం. ప్రతి వాళ్ళు కూడా ఆసనాలు ప్రాణాయామం అని అర్థం తీసుకుంటారు. సో మనం ఇప్పుడు ప్రాణాయామం గురించి తెలుసుకుంటున్నాం. వాట్ ఈస్ దట్ ప్రాణాయామ? వాట్ ఈజ్ ది సూక్ష్మ అండ్ ఫ్రిక్షనల్ అండ్ కుండలిని ప్రాణాయామం. దెర్ ఆర్ 3 varieties. ది సేమ్ ప్రాణాయామ ఈజ్ సూక్ష్మ అండ్ ఆల్సో ఫ్రిక్షనల్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇట్ raises కుండలిని. సో దిస్ ప్రాణాయామ ఈజ్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇన్ ది యోగా path. Not in jnana path, mind you, only in yoga path. Is there anything worth to know in this world when you, other than yourself? Is the thundering slogan of the ancient Rishis. The great Upanishads, Vedas declare that if you don't know thyself in this very birth, you are at a loss which is irreparable. Mahati vinashtihi. And those who have attained self-knowledge in this birth, Brahmajnana in this birth, they are called as Brahmanas, not with Janjam Pogu. They are Brahmanas because Brahmajnanam to Brahmanaha. And others, they are Krupanas. If you know one thing, what is Jnana Yoga tells is, if you know one thing, you will know all the other things. That is what is called Eka Vijnanena Sarvam Vijnatam Bhavati అని Upanishad declaration. If you are able to know everything in this world, and you will be relieved of samsara and attain liberation, and nothing will remain unknown to you. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram hi vidyate yena bhutan yaseshena drakshasi atmani athomayi అని భగవద్గీత. This is what is called Jnana Yoga, which is the highest sadhana through Aham Brahmasmi Mahavakya. This is what is called Jnana Yoga. So we are not going to talk about Jnana Yoga now. We are coming to the Patanjali Yoga, or the other Upanishads declaration of Yoga Kundali, Yoga Upanishad, Yoga Tattva Upanishad, like that Yoga Sikha Upanishad. There are so many Upanishads on yoga, and particularly on the pranayama. I have taken this pranayama, sukshma pranayama and the frictional pranayama to arise the kundalini shakti. Is there anything worth to know in this yoga path other than the awakening of kundalini shakti? The purpose of yoga is what is called to arise the kundalini shakti. The energy is stored in your Mooladhara in 3.5 coils. Is there anything to other than the awakening of Kundalini Shakti through pranayama? What is the sadhana through pranayama is another thundering slogan of the same Upanishad Rishis. The same Upanishads declared this also. Is the on the very same breath, for those to whom all this yoga is telling, to those who are not able to attain Jnana Yoga. So the competency is not there when he is not competent for Jnana Yoga, then only he has to survive in this Kundalini Shakti or Kundalini Yoga. And Jnana Yoga is the highest that is declared. But that will be attained through this yoga that is called Pranayama Yoga. Tat Swayam Yoga Samsiddha Kalina Atmani Vindati. In due course, he will attain Jnana and he will attain Moksha. So, the following details with the Sukshma and frictional Pranayama, which is the pivot of all yogic practices. Now, we are going into the awakening of Sushumna. Without Sushumna Nadi enlivened, there is no Kundalini Shakti arises. If you want to awaken the Kundalini Shakti, which is lying, where is this Kundalini Shakti? It is lying dormant in the Mooladhara Chakra. That is the under all things, Anus, near Anus. It is Mooladhara Chakra. Chakra means a center of consciousness, awareness. Everything is consciousness is divided into 6 chakras, 6 places, and this Kundalini Shakti is compared to a serpent, a female serpent, not male serpent, female serpent. It is in Kundalini, in Mooladhara, there is one Shivalinga, suppose there is one Shivalinga, and this is entwined. This Kundalini Shakti, as we are thinking as a serpent, this is in 3.5 coils. 3.5 coils. Ante, in which is Shivalinga called Swayambhu, covered by this Kundalini, ascend the Linga, around the Linga. Supreme reality is pure consciousness, Shiva, and when it reveals itself is known as Shakti. Manifests as power, Shiva is a static aspect of consciousness, while Shakti is kinetic aspect. So first we have to know that Kundalini Shakti is the kinetic aspect of the same consciousness. Same pure consciousness, which is what is called static. We know that petrol is originally, it is potential. It is not kinetic. When you give a kick to that vehicle, then that will convert it into kinetic energy. That is static energy. That is potential energy. So pure consciousness is pure potential energy. When you give a kick, that is means your mind has come out and I want to do something like that, then you will go and you will do all these things. Like that, it is a kinetic aspect of Shakti. The main aim of pranayama is to awaken this Kundalini Shakti. But the so-called yogis, they are all trying for some powers. This Kundalini Shakti is the storage of energy and it is kinetic. So they want some Shaktis like Anima, Mahima, Garima, Laghima, like that, Ashtasiddhi. This is otherwise called Sahasrara Chakra. The consciousness is stored in Sahasrara Chakra. Full development of consciousness is in Sahasrara Chakra. Whereas in this, the Shakti is in the dormant stage, dark stage. It is not enlightened now. If you do this pranayama, then the Shakti will arise. That is the technique we will know afterwards. This is otherwise called, there is one nadi, you are seeing that there is one straight line is there. There are some knots, but one is Mooladhara, next is Swadhisthana, third is Maha Swadhisthana, Manipura. Manipura means navel, this thing, Manipura. Anahata is Hridayam, that is what is called heart, Anahata. And next Vishuddha Chakra. Vishuddha Chakra is located in this Kantham. Next Ajna Chakra. Ajna Chakra is in this between eyebrows. This is Ajna Chakra. and that Sahasrara is what is called our brain and other things. Okay, so this Shakti travels from these nadis, Sushumna Nadi. There is only straight line. There are two other nadis are though, Ida and Pingala. Ida and Pingala are the two nadis which are entwined like this. This is Ida and this is Pingala. They are like అది నాకు చూపించలేదు. ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇట్లా వస్తుంది, ఇదేమో ఇక్కడి నుంచి దీస్ టూ నాడీస్ మన ముక్కులోంచి టూ రంధ్రాలు ఉన్నాయి కదా ఇక్కడి నుంచి. దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ టూ నాడీస్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ వాట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ సుషుమ్నా నాడి, ది స్ట్రెయిట్ నాడి. సో Sushumna from left to right like AC current. Sushumna, what is I think you know the AC current and DC current. DC current is like Ida and Pingala. AC current straight line, that is Sushumna. So before going into the details of pranayama, it is necessary to know that Sushumna Nadi and Ida and Pingala, both of them entwine the Sushumna from left to right like AC current and right to left in the movement upwards going round the chakras. Those are chakras. That's why we see in all temples there are two serpents intertwined alternatively and they meet at Ajna Chakra. They will meet at Ajna Chakra. That is what is called here eyebrows there. So they starting here and ending there. This is the aim of pranayama is to unite Shakti with Shiva. Their yogis concept is the Shakti is there. This Shakti has to unite with the pure consciousness in the Sahasrara. That is what is called Brahma Randhram, Brahma place, Brahma, abode of Brahman. Prana is a particular manifestation of this Kundalini Shakti. We are inhaling and exhaling. That is what is called the Kundalini Shakti's expressions. Not Kundalini Shakti actually. It is the expression of the Kundalini Shakti, energy's expression. That is called and keeps the body with various functions which is called Kriya Shakti. So this prana is called Kriya Shakti. There are three varieties: Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Jnana Shakti is pure consciousness. Ichha Shakti is mind and Kriya Shakti is life force, prana. So generally there is a misunderstanding that it means control of breath. Pranayama means everybody is telling that you have to control the breath. No, this is not correct meaning because prana plus ayama. Ayama means prana plus ayama. Ayama means to lengthen, to stretch from the Mooladhara to Ajna Chakra. That is what is called ayama. So prana, the Shakti, prana Shakti is to be ayama, to be taken in the straight line of Sushumna to Ajna Chakra. Thus, pranayama means taking the prana by raising it upwards to Ajna Chakra, where prana dissolves in Chidakasha. The Bhrumajyam is the Chidakasham, that is Chidakasham. And this prana Shakti has to go forward like after breaking these Shat Chakras, and it will go to Sahasraram and it will unite with pure consciousness. This is what is called prana dissolves in Chidakasha. Prana Shakti is what is the source of prana Shakti means Akasham. Akashad Vayu. ఆకాశంలోంచి వాయువు వచ్చింది కాబట్టి వాయువు ఎక్కడికి పోవాలి, మళ్ళీ నువ్వు ఆకాశంలోకి పోవాలి. ఎందులోంచి వచ్చింది అందులోకి పోవాలి. సముద్రంలోంచి ఒక తరంగం వచ్చింది, మళ్ళీ సముద్రంలోకి పోవాలి. తరంగం మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడ వేరే చోట వెళ్ళడానికి వీలేదు. అట్లాగే ఫ్రమ్ ది ప్యూర్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ కమ్ that prana shakti, and it has to go to pure consciousness. Where it is located means Ajna Chakra is the starting point. The Yoga Darshan, in Yoga Darshan means the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Tasmin sati swasha praschasyor gati vichedha pranayama. The fundamental difference is the other pranayamas and this pranayama I am proposing now is they are taking the breath inside and they are exhaling, inhaling with the outside breath. But ours is tasmin sati gati praswasa prasvasayor gati vichedha. The inhalation and exhalation, the courses of inhalation and exhalation, the arrest of the natural courses of prana and apana, and unite them with each other. You have to unite the prana and apana each other, and you have to take it upwards to the Ajna Chakra, that is in Bhumadhya. So the Lord Krishna also says in the immortal song Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Pranapana gati ruddhva pranayama parayanaha. Pranapana gati ruddhva. The courses has to be ruddhva means you have to arrest. That means you have to topsy-turvy. That the course should be arrested. So pranapano samau krutva, you have to equate the prana and apana. Nasa abhyantaracharino. This is the breath inside the breath, not outside vayu. So the important word in Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Dirgha Sukshmaha. Dirgha Sukshmaha means a lengthened Sukshma, subtlest thing. Suppose the life of Sukshma Pranayama and Bahyabhyantara Vikshepi, Vishayakshepi Chaturdha. This Patanjali Yoga Sutra also says that Bahya Abhyantara Vishaya Akshepi Chaturdha. This is what is called Chaturdha Pranayama. There are three pranayamas: inhalation, exhalation, and holding of the breath. There are three pranayamas, all nose. The 99% they are following these three methods. But the last Keval Kumbhaka is this separate pranayam, that is what is called highest pranayama, this thing. Bahya Abhyantara Vishaya Akshepi. There are no Bahyam and Abhyantaram Vishayal without having the breath, holding the breath, without taking the breath, without exhaling the breath. You have to make it all these three in your this thing only, not in other things. Pranapana vasho jivo yadhaschordham cha gicchati apanam karshati pranam pranapanam cha karshati. Apanam, this is what is called the water. If water has got its own thing, that is what is called like of gravitation. It is gravitation. The earth also is having gravitational force. Apanaha karshati pranam. Pranam means it is always trying to go to urdhvam. Prana apanam cha karshati. And the prana is like Agni and apana is like water. So the course of Agni is to go upwards and the course of water is to go downwards. This is natural courses. You have to arrest this natural course of going downwards and you have to mingle with this Agni. That is what is called apana means water. Pranam means Agni. So you have to make the two into one. That is what is called prane apanam, apani pranam. Prana apanam both should be united, and the united force of prana and apana should be taken from this Mooladhara to Ajna Chakra. That is the intention of pranayama. So varam apanam urdhvam utthapya, you have to raise this apana to this thing. You have to raise, but not to make like this. You have to raise this. You have to raise this from abdomen to upar lana hai. Apanam urdhvam akrushya. Thus, there are so many statements about this Sukshma Pranayama. Majority could not understand, as this is known only through initiation of Sadguru And this man has got initiation through some Sadguru like Ramananda Yogi and like Madhavananda Yogi and like other yogis, Kerala yogis, and I have got that initiation. And I can initiate you also without taking any fees and other things. But Shraddha and Saburi should be there, and you have to practice. This is meant for practice, not for theoretical knowledge. Vedanta is theory and practice, but here you have to practice this. This is what is called Kundalini Shakti Pranayama, and it will be, it is, there are so many physiological and adhyatmic benefits also there. Physiological benefits also there. BP will be controlled, sugar will be controlled, like that. So many people, they are telling, oh, you do yoga and you will be all right in all these things, BP and other things perfect and chip. So our aim is not to have this healthy body and other things. Our aim is to attain jnana, that's all. The prana is the highest the same, and exhaling the breath. In all the people are doing is in 1:2, 2:4 respectively. They're taking breath, exhaling and inhaling. 1:2, 2:4, holding this 2 minutes or something like that. Now I will explain the details of the Sukshma and frictional pranayama. The prana is in the heart region. This is the prana's location is in the heart region. The natural course of which is upwards. The natural course is upwards. And the apana's location is in the navel region, lower region or abdomen. The natural course of which is downwards. It is that is what is called magnetic force. Like the Bhumi is Bhumi Akarshan Shakti, law of gravitation antar kada. Adi. They draw each other, due to which the embodied consciousness means in this buddhi, this consciousness is locked in this buddhi, that is called embodied consciousness, is traveling in the three avasthas, Jagrat, Sapna and Sushupti, and completely neither going upwards nor going downwards. And this is what is called, we are doing in this Jagrat avastha, Sapna avastha and Sushupti avastha. And the prana and apana will not go either upwards or neither do downwards above abdomen. That's another thing. The inner breath, apana, is the lower region, Mooladhara chakra, by the upwards and unite with the prana. So take the united prana and apana upwards to apana chakra, ajna chakra. Need not take the outer breath, that is inhalation and exhalation is not necessary, and Kumbhaka also is not necessary as in the other methods. Now I will explain the thing. This is the heart region. So the prana is located here. Apana is located in the Manipura. So this apana should be raised upwards. Apana should be raised upwards and unite with prana. So this apana should be raised, and in the heart region you have to unite this with the prana here. So these united apana and prana should be raised to Ajna chakra. Ajna chakra means this is Chidakasham. It is pure consciousness ikkada. The embodied consciousness means embodied consciousness is called Jiva. Jiva, this is Brahma. Jiva plus Brahma, Jiva Brahmaikyam. This is the ultimate goal of life. In this process, we will attain some siddhis, no doubt. If you cross this Manipura or if you cross this Swadhisthana, you will attain this body will become light and it will go upwards. When anything which is very light than the what is called air, it will go upwards of this thing. That is what is called the principle, scientific principle. Like that, you will get that Akash Vihara. You can go anywhere in the world through Akasha, because your body is very light. Like what is called this hydrogen bubble, hydrogen బుడగలేవో పెడతారు చూడండి, అట్లా అది బయటికి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ది హార్ట్ రీజియన్ దాటిన తర్వాత యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు ది విశుద్ధ మీన్స్ ఇక్కడ నౌ యువర్ మైండ్ షుడ్ బి ప్యూరిఫైడ్ హియర్. మైండ్ ప్యూరిఫికేషన్ వస్తుంది. వెన్ ద మైండ్ ఈజ్ ప్యూరిఫైడ్, దెన్ యూ విల్ ఎంటర్ ది చిదాకాశం. చిదాకాశం మీన్స్ ద ఆల్ పెర్వేడెడ్ ఆకాశ. బట్ దిస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ యాక్చువల్లీ, this is Sahasrara is pure consciousness. This is somewhat mixed consciousness. Chidakasham is only in embodied state only. So you have to first attain Ajna Chakra for all these things. So you have to cross all these dots and then go to this chakra. That is what is called Sahasrara. And this is embodied consciousness means Chidabhasa. Shastric word is Chidabhasa. Brahma is not Abhasa, he is Kotastha. Brahman, Kotastha. Versus Brahman, Jiva. So, Kotastha is the Paramatma, and that is what is called pure consciousness, whereas Jiva is called embodied consciousness, which is having a cover. Embodied means a cover. What is that cover? Ajnanam is the cover. He is not with awareness. Ajnanam is the cover of that. So this is in your actually in the state of Ajnanam, avidya only, we are all doing these practices. But it will help you in attaining this Jnana Yoga, because its mind's purification will be done very easily in this pranayama. We want mind's purification first, because the Atman's this reflects in this purified mind. So that means Atmananda will be reflected in this. So you have to attain that one. Suppose we are seeing that the people who are Brahmins, they are doing some Yajnopaveta. That is what is called, that not here from this here. They are by Upanayanam they have got that Yajnopaveta. And that is there is a special instrument for the making of the subtlets. That a prati, that is cotton, it will become subtlest in the while taking like this. That is here, this will be rounded, ended, and they will take like this. So that is what is called subtlest. Like that, we have to take this prana by making it subtlest through Sushumna Nadi to this thing. So this is shown in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Dirgha Sukshmaha. So now, the main important point is to use that apana, which is gravitational force, to see the apana gravitational force obstructing prana to reach Sushumna. This gravitational force is attracting that prana downwards. So you cannot interact with pure consciousness. So hence we have to raise apana, unite it with prana, which will naturally goes upwards, so as to mitigate the effect of gravitational force. This is like rocket. You think that rocket is, there is some indhana, the gravitational force, through indhana it will be gravity, you have to cross this gravitational force of the earth. Naturally it will use that after reaching that stage. Anyhow, this has to be explained personally. After thoroughly practicing the Sukshma Pranayama, we will now enter into the advanced course of Kundalini Pranayama, that frictional Pranayama. For this Pranayama, you have to create a situation. The upper part of the body is contracted with Jalandhara Bandha. Now here we have to know this Jalandhara Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha and Moola Bandha, the three. We have to make it thoroughly, that bandhas, and then we have to start this Sukshma and frictional Pranayama. But the common people, merely the forcing of prana downward and upward, upon upwards towards reverse the natural directions is to be noted, which is unique in this method of Sukshma and frictional Pranayama. The position seems to be, now it is there is a hollow tube in which a piston is working in both ends without escape of the central air, which thus becomes heated. The importance of frictional pranayama is to generate heat in your body. This heat will destroy all your papas, sins and other things, karmas and other things. So this is due to frictional pranayama. Pressure of prana and apana hold tight together, intense heat is generated, and this again arouses the sleeping kundalini, Shakti, sleeping serpent, which is activated and enters the Sushumna Nadi. Actually, this is not now in Sushumna Nadi, it is outside, and this Dandahata Bhujingi, when you stick this serpent, and it will raise upwards like a straight line, like this. Dandahata Bhujingi, like that. This Mooladhara Chakra, which is dormant, sleeping in this Mooladhara Chakra, it will raise into that and it will straightly go to the Sushumna, and immediately it will go upwards. And again it will fall downwards also. If you don't have that capacity, then it will immediately fall down. That's why we have got some diseases also on account of this pranayama, because he could not control that Kundalini Shakti. Another important point is to be noted is you have to create a frontal passage while ascending prana and rotate your consciousness through chakras and contact points while descending on the axis. The details are to be known personally. Thus the Ajna Chakra becomes North Pole. Ajna Chakra is North Pole and this is South Pole, like that. And it is in an eclipsed manner. The spine becomes, we have got a spine. All these chakras located in the spine only. That spine is straight, and that spine has become the Vajrayudha. It is magnetized. Because if you producing heat, generating heat, then it will be magnetized. The thing will be magnetized. And scientists say that some iron rod will also be magnetized with some magnet and other things, and while rubbing all these things. So trying to control and hold the breath. In the other pranayamas, they are trying to hold the breath inside. That is what is called wrong. It is unpleasant. Holding of breath is not the criteria. But dissolving of breath is our motto of pranayama. Dissolving the breath. That it should be dissolved in the Chidakasha. That is what is called Bhumadhya. So what are the physical effects? The neutralization of inhalation and exhalation transmutes oxygen into basic constituents of atomic energy. The This will change the body with an increased supply of oxygen through the lungs, and this oxygen burns the oxides or the waste impurities. You need not draw oxygen from the outside. You can become yourself a motor like this, and you can generate oxygen itself in your body itself, and which will mitigate all these impurities, oxidizes the waste impurities. And in the venous blood, removes the last residue of the waste carbon. The venous blood, thus cleansed or dark impurities, ceases to flow into the lungs. The venous blood has been purified, then it need not go to the lungs for purification. You need not to purify it. Hence, the heart and lungs are given an extraordinary rest. Heart and these lungs will be having a very, very rest because of this pranayama. Hence, the heart and lungs are given an extraordinary rest. The carbon dioxide will be converted into oxygen. The same carbon dioxide which is inside is converted. We are not throwing out. That's why you are pumping the prana and apana in your body only, not outside. So the carbon dioxide will be converted into oxygen, and hence there is no need to take outside breath. That's why yogis are living so many years without having a breath also. Konda guhallo vayu lekunda vayuto chestunarante they are converting the carbon dioxide inside into oxygen, like this pranayama. As this oxygen remains in the body, spiritual effects, these are the physical effects. The physical effects, there are so many, all diseases will be purified, all diseases will be cured. Like that, there are so many things to be told. All other yogis are telling, I need not tell anything. Spiritual effects, I want to know this spiritual effect. What is this? The highest and foremost spiritual effect is that quietens the mind. It quietens the mind because breath and mind are interlinked. Breath, where there is a breath, there will become a mind. Suppose the breathlessness is the mindlessness. What is mindlessness? It is pure Brahman state. Mind is a samsara. Actually, mind itself is samsara. So, no mind state. It is what is called no mind state. That is what is called samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. The sage Vasishtha says in Yoga Vasishtha, either the breath or mind, which is easy to control, will you do whatever easiest method. If you like yoga, you can do the pranayama and make the mind still. Or if you like the vicharana marga, then you make the mind still here also. So, the two are also important for every student in the adhyatmic path, either this one or that one. Ekam sankhya cha yogam cha yah pasyati sapasyati ekamapi astitah samyak ubhayor vindate phalam. Sankhya means vicharana, that is enquiry. Yoga means pranayama. Dono, because the two are one, because the ultimate result is the one. That's why they are one. As this technique of pranayama is very rarely exposed in the Upanishads. These secrets are revealed only in some very, very rare places of the Upanishads. All could not understand. And majority of sadhakas are under the opinion that taking a breath from outside and holding the same for some time and again exhaling the same at certain ratio is the only method. And all the other gurus also, they are telling the same thing, the same methods, 6:4:2:4, 1:2:4, like that. I want to reveal this technique is to the ignorant people and enthusiastic sadhakas through the grace of my Sadguru Ramananda and Madhavananda Swamis. The other paraphernalia, Mooladhara, Moolabandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha, and Mudras, Mahaveda Mudra, may be done before and after this technique as per the personal directions. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya also emphasizes the need of this pranayama, stating this as Kevala Kumbhaka, and really admires it in his work Yoga Taravali. Shankaracharya has written a book called Yoga Taravali on the yoga. My advice is to study that above book, and Nadanusandhanam, because of this pranayama, there will become Nadanusandhanam. It has to become a Nada Anusandhana. You have to straightly, mind will go with Nadam. And where the Nadam lies, Layam Pontundo, Ekkada Nadam Layam Pontundo, Akkada mind Layam Pontundi. So the Nirvikalpa Samadhi will attain. And this is what is called yoga path. Now, Malli again, I am coming to Jnana path. What is that Jnana? Tattvamasi. Wherever you go, you have to show this Mahavakya, Tat Tvam Asi. Tat Tvam Asi. While I am going to the right bazaar, I saw certain fleet of pots, chettis, which are made of clay for sale, of course. Then I thought it would be better to give Tattvamasi Upadesha. I have told already Tattvamasi in my Telugu discussion. This is now in English discussion. And Tattvamasi Upadesha is certain small part which is having a pure mind. This part is having a pure mind and open mind. And the pure mind is required and open mind also is required. It should not be entangled with other cults. 4 minutes. I saw a small part and the conversation between the pot and myself is going on like this. Hello, how are you? Addressing a small pot. Me? Oh, I am sad, like the pot. Why are you sad? I asked. Because I am wretched small pot. Who told you that you are small and wretched pot? Look at me. I am so small. He is so big. Did you look at yourself keenly? Who are you? Oh, who am I? You are not a small pot, but you are clay. Me? Myself? Clay? Yes, you are clay. No, I am pot only. I am pot only. Like this. He's all. Yes, you are pot and clay. Clay also. How can I be both? You can be both. What are you talking? So this is a glass. How can I become a glass? How can I be glass and myself one? You cannot become glass. You cannot become glass, but you can become clay. How? Because you are born of clay. I am born of clay. Yes. Yes, you are born of clay. And also you are sustained by clay. Oh, clay sustains me? Where is the clay? I have not seen. How does it sustain me? Yes, because it is not away from you. It lives and pours its existence in you. As if I have no existence. Yes, you have no separate existence without this clay. There is no separate existence without clay. What will happen to you when you die? I will disappear. Where you will disappear? I don't know. You are born of clay, you are sustained by clay, and after death also you will merge in the clay. Oh, that is the point. So, you will always a clay after death also. I will become after death. I will become after death clay? No. You will be clay here and now itself, and you are not becoming clay. You are already clay. Now I understand that I would be clay and I am not a small part. But how can I become clay? Everybody is thinking like this. How can I become? You need not become anything. You remain as it is. You are already that Tattvamasi. So you are always clay. You are not a part. For existence, for this Vyavaharik state, you are a part. That's all. So you are the reality in the part. Part is the only your form, your name. Your true nature is always clay. You are never born like a snake or rope, which is born in your mind out of your ignorance only. Remove that ignorance, the snake will disappear. So it never born and never dies. In the same way, pot also is never born, never dies. But a form of clay, it will be disappear, forms will disappear, but the substance will remain as it is. Substance is clay. So you are always that you are a Jivan Mukta. So please remove from your mind the notion of small part like Jiva. Keep always Aham Brahmasmi notion. So you will become Jivan Mukta. This is what is called Vichara Marga. This is what is called Vedanta Marga. So we stop this with this thing. Thank you. And my name is A. Annajirao. If you want to contact me, you can contact on cell number 970-3313-715, 970-3313-715, and I will give you initiation in this Kundalini Pranayama or frictional Pranayama or Sukshma Pranayama as per your liking. Okay? Thank you very much.